Good afternoon and welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending 4th of February 2023. Zahawi sacked, a black on black attack. Sunak takes flak for having Raab's back. The case of Nicola still not cracked. Political scandals tend to end just one way. Sure enough, Zahawi lost his job on Sunday. Sunak's plan at first was to let sleeping dogs lie and hope that his party chairman hadn't lied. But opponents would not leave it alone. Less sleeping dogs, more like dogs with a bone. So Rishi's ethics advisor did his stuff and eventually decided enough was enough. Zahawi had breached the ministerial code, so for him he'd reached the end of the road. Tuesday was the last day of the transfer window, a football lottery when clubs lose or win dough. Buying and selling players in a frantic rush, some missing out in the last minute crush. Chelsea spent £300 million on 8 players. Potter's magic now needed to quell the naysayers. Altogether, the British window was smashed. More than £800 million cash was splashed. Striking striker deals is hardest, most would say. Next day, the government must have felt the same way. Around 500,000 strikers on picket lines. Strikers that football managers would never have signed. TUC's day of action hit the back of the net, causing public services to be badly upset. But is the government listening? Does it even care? And does striking work? Is any of this fair? Perhaps a redistribution of the Premier League's dough could help solve our country's financial woes. On Wednesday, people in Montana looked up blinking. What the blinking hell is that, they must have been thinking. A white balloon from China had them confused. Antony Blinken was not at all amused. The Secretary of State cancelled his airliner due to fly him for high-level talks in China. To send Xi a message, Blinken stayed on the ground. Then on Saturday the US had the blimp shot down. China reacted with hot air and no remorse, claiming it was a weather balloon blown off course, of course. What kind of weather balloon fails to track and trace the weather system that forced it into US airspace? Blinken eyed Xi with relations on the brink. Brinkman's ship left Xi seeing if Blinken would blink. In Memphis, Tennessee on January the 10th, 5 black policemen had beaten a black man to death. This week a video was released of Tyree Nichols' killing when a traffic stop turned into something more chilling. The 5 assailants have already been charged and sacked. Such speedy action seems reserved only for the blacks. In the UK, the country was gripped by the case of Nicola bully, who has disappeared without trace. January the 27th, near the River Wyre, the scene where the 45-year-old mother was last seen. She dropped her kids at school and it seems had been following a familiar morning routine. At 9:01 onto a work conference call she had logged. Witnesses saw her on her phone while walking her dog. Still there appeared nothing untoward at all. But she didn't log off that Microsoft Teams call. And it seems the police have almost no leads, just her phone found on a bench and her dog off its lead. But with no new information to deliver, they concluded she must have drowned in the river. But they provided no evidence for their theory, so family and friends still hope and still query. Thursday was Sunak's 100th day as PM. A day to reflect or be positive. Carpe diem. He was supposed to be the new broom back when, in October, he swept into number 10. To brush up his party's image was his target, but of late he's been brushing things under the carpet. Now Dominic Raab is causing him a problem and giving opponents a chance to nobble him. The PM's deputy has many accusations made against him on many occasions, suggesting that he has been a bully. Sunak's having these claims looked into fully. But mud will no doubt stick on Raab, even if allegations turn out to be rhubarb. And many already have him convicted and think that Rishi had known what Dominic did last October when he made the call to give Mr. Raab a cabinet recall. Following Williamson and Zahawi before, Mr. Raab looks like he'll be shown the door. And the new Broom PM is left to blush, while many tar his government with the same brush. And UK politics is on shifting sands. Tories no more a financial safe pair of hands. At least that's what their opponents would say after the IMF report published Tuesday. They have predicted that in 2023, when considering the expected GDP of the advanced and emerging economies, the only negative amongst all the countries will be that of our own country. Even Russia is in positive territory. Yes, the GDP of a state crippled by sanctions is somehow expected to see an expansion. Gas and oil exports help the gangster nation, but to outperform Britain needs some explanation. How come? What the hell can be going on here? We told you so, Remainers start to sneer. Brexit? What Brexit? Reply the Brexiteers.